Anyone who understands history, Malcolm X would be one of the most famous people that spoke about the white liberal and how the white liberal is no different than the white conservative. But he talked about how the white liberal was actually more cunning than the white conservative. He really broke down the white liberal. And while the white liberal has always posed as a friend to the black man and woman of America, and also throughout the world, anywhere they have this quote unquote liberal ideologies. But in the end, black folks still end up in the same position and they have the same feelings that the so-called white conservative have. Case in point, even these young sisters are starting to figure it out about the quote unquote white liberal. Let's check that out.
Do you know how many liberal whites I know that are so uncomfortable around black people?
They don't talk about it.
Yeah. Oh,
And
baby.
Sometimes liberal whites are liberal because like they can be, because it's easy to like Black Lives Matter in their beautiful skyrise apartment away
all
from black
white.
people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like Black Lives Matter. Looking, they do. I promise. Just don't come into my apartment. We don't want homeless people in here, or people that are lower than us. We don't want whatever.
Yes. Oh, yes. They do feel that way. A lot of them do. A lot of them is racist too. And I told y'all, when we mentioned the term conservative and to conserve, the quote unquote liberal is a conservative too. All of them are conservatives. What do I mean by that? They want to conserve white supremacy. They want to conserve their privilege. They want to conserve their unearned benefits. They want to conserve that. There's no liberal that wants to end any of that. Sorry, not in maybe a few individuals, but not the collective group. No, they don't even want equality. Listen, not to be below anybody, just everybody be equal, because to them, equality is oppression. Equality is reverse racism. And the same white liberal do not want black folk to get paid reparations in the form of cash payments. They don't. I remember when I was taking the last time I went to South Africa, and the last time I went to South Africa was in 2024. And I was on the plane with a woman who was white, and she was a white liberal. And she was all about, Black Lives Matter and George Floyd and all these different things. But then I go to the purity test. What's the purity test for black people? What's the litmus test? How do you feel about black Americans getting reparations in the form of cash payments? You agree with that black Americans need to get that for slavery? And just sit back and watch. Let's see what their response is going to be. I'm talking about the liberal. We already know what their quote unquote conservative feel. You got to ask them that. But the ones that's always talking about Black Lives Matter and George Floyd and systemic racism and all the buzzwords they like to say. How do you feel about black people getting reparations, sir or ma'am? So I asked that lady on the plane, because she was sitting next to me, older lady, whatever. She said, well, I don't really agree with it. And I say, really? I say, how come you don't agree with it? Say, well, I don't think it will fix anything. I say, well, it's not about fixing anything. It's about righting a wrong. I say, and it's a debt owed. You understand? And you say, but how is it that people today will be responsible for what happened in the past? I say, well, there are systems that's still in operation today that was happening during slavery. Like one, gerrymandering. The slave patrol converted to the police department. All the wealth that's in y'all community came from slavery. It didn't come from your hard work and effort. But I explained to her, I said, also, when it comes to reparations in the form of cash payments, I said, because we're not immigrants, that would be a stimulus for the American economy. And because black Americans, most of them will spend the money here in America, it will circulate in the economy. And black people shop just about everywhere. So everybody would also benefit. Business owners would benefit. Small business owners would benefit. off of reparations, right? They'll benefit because black people be spending the money. And when I kind of said that part about, how they would kind of benefit off of reparations, then she was kind of like, oh, I'm starting to, I get it. Because I never heard it said like that before, where how it would stimulate the economy and everybody would benefit off of reparations if black Americans got reparations. I never heard that take. And so you say, you know what? I would have more agree with it now since you said it like that. You know what I'm saying? And it's not that I was talking to her mean or whatever. I was just, like Dr. John Henry Clark. I only debate my equals, all others I teach. And I had to teach that white woman in an easy way. Where she can get it and she can understand. Not that I had to do it, no. But if you're talking to me, then I'm going to have to educate you a little bit, especially when you're talking about my people, right? But a lot of white liberals don't want black people to have reparations because, one, they can't get it. Number two, when it comes to reparations and things like that, a lot of people just feel that everything that we get, they got to get a part of it. If they can't, they're against it. That's how entitled a lot of groups are in this country. Extremely, extremely entitled. And we as black Americans, when we tell them, no, you're not going to get that. But that liberal believes in calling black folks criminals. That liberal will still not hire you. That liberal will harass black women about their natural hair. A lot of times it's not them Republican white women that's causing problems for black women on the job. It's these liberal white women and black women. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Your biggest issue isn't the conservative white woman. It's that liberal white woman. The one that's probably got a black boyfriend. Or if they don't have a black boyfriend, they listen to hip hop. They go you go to the club and you see them in there. But they'll go to the club with you, dance and all kind of things, drink or whatever. But they don't want you to have reparations though. But they love to partake in your culture. And see, the biggest issue that the white man has with his woman is that she gets to walk between both worlds. She can go get minority set-asides, and she can still participate in white supremacy. That's one of his biggest issues with her. But I throw it back in his face, say, well, you gave her the lane to do it. Y'all the ones in control. You the one put the laws on the books to allow them to do it. And you in control to get rid of the laws too. If you want. I'm just saying. But they're not our friends. They're not our friends. They're about the status quo. Remember when Biden came in office and Biden say he's here to put back the status quo? Biden say, I'm here to have an equal society. I'm here to make sure everybody is equal and everybody is making money and everybody has a job. He didn't say that. He said the status quo. And the status quo is a racial caste system. That's what we have in America. It's a racial caste system. And the white liberal wants to be at the top of that system. They don't want to be at the bottom. You feel me? So they can miss me with all the things that they talk about. I understand about who the white liberal is. I understand. And unfortunately, some of my people don't understand. Now, some of the young people are starting to get it. But to some of the older ones, you 40 years old and you still ain't figured it out? You 50, you still haven't figured it out? Sister, brother? Them people about protecting their privilege and white supremacy. They are not for equality with you. That's why the only way we go get something is to focus on ourselves, have no feelings about any of it when people say something, because feelings don't pay bills, and feelings not going to get us free. We got to be cold and calculated working as a community. Because when you don't have no feelings, guilt trips don't work, because I don't have no feelings at that point. And our feelings need to be dead to any group for us to get something. Everybody gets a piece of the pie except black people. And the liberal makes sure it's the liberal that wants to put all of them, the migrants in our community. It's the liberal that give them all that money. The white liberal. And they black flunkies. So yes, always be watching the liberal, the white liberal and that. Watch them, because they have proven historically that they don't mean us really no good.